Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on this busy Friday. I'm Alex Maragos.
And I'm Marion Brooks, and we begin this afternoon with breaking news from the South Side at a school there. Earlier today, officials at Hamline Elementary School in the Back of the Yards neighborhood say Immigration Customs Enforcement agents showed up at their door. When asked to produce a warrant, they left. But now ICE says it wasn't them. Chicago police say it wasn't them, and the Cook County Sheriff's Department says it wasn't them either. V. Nguyen is live for us at Hamline School. She's got the very latest. V, this is quite a mystery.
Yes, it is, Marion. You can feel the tension, fear, and worry in this community. Some parents tell me they rushed over to the school after hearing reports that ICE agents showed up this afternoon. Chicago Public Schools telling us that staff and security immediately followed protocols and did not allow these agents inside while they assessed the situation. So according to Chicago Public Schools, this happened around 11:15 this afternoon. CPS leaders say some people arrived at the school near 48th and Bishop, presented credentials, and identified themselves as ICE agents. It's unclear how long that interaction was for and who these agents were looking for. CPS leaders say security and staff have been trained and have been preparing for what to do when agents arrived. They say they will continue to follow guidance that unless a court order or a federal warrant is presented, that agents will not be permitted. Here's what the district's chief of education and the principal had to say about what happened earlier today.
The ICE agents were not allowed into the school and were not permitted to speak to any students or staff members. Here is the bottom line. Our students and staff are safe. Our protocols were followed.
We will not open our doors for ICE, and we are here to protect our children and make sure they have access to an excellent education. We stand in solidarity with our families and the Back of the Yards community.
The Department of Homeland Security says this was not an ICE encounter. Chicago police telling us the department did not receive any calls for service at the school. Cook County Sheriff's Office said it's not their jurisdiction. So as you can imagine, this caused a lot of confusion and anxiety for neighbors and parents who have kids attending the school.
Andona is more kids in there, they don't got no papers. You know, it's not fair. They're little kids.
I feel bad for all those children.
They should leave the school alone. That's sanctuary right there. So that's, they should leave the kids in school. They shouldn't come and play with them.
So rapid response teams made up of volunteers from different organizations responded today. As school was letting out, they provided families with know your rights information. So back out here live again, DHS telling us that this was not an ICE encounter. CPS telling us they followed protocols, and they're reassuring family and staff and students here that they are committed to protecting the rights of students regardless of their immigration status. Of course, we are following this story. We'll have another update for you coming up at 5. Reporting live in the Back of the Yards neighborhood. V. Nguyen, NBC 5 News.
And V, I know you've been trying to get video of what may have happened there, but no video just yet to try to figure out who may have come to this school. So we appreciate that update, and we'll keep working on that story. Thank you, V.
We are continuing to follow breaking news here at 4:30. Confusion and concern over a situation at a Southside school.
Officials at Hamline Elementary in the Back of the Yards tell us that Immigration Customs Enforcement agents showed up at the door earlier today, but then left after being asked for a warrant. But ICE says it was not their agents who showed up there. We asked Chicago police. They say they did not receive any calls for service at that location. And the Cook County Sheriff's Department says it was not them either. On MSNBC this afternoon, CPS CEO Pedro Martinez said the staff followed protocol at the school. NBC5's V. Nguyen is following the story as well. She will have the latest update coming on our news at 5 o'clock tonight.
Good evening to you. I'm Marion Brooks in tonight for Allison Rosati.
And I'm Stephen Holt. Thanks for being with us at 5 o'clock. We're going to get right to those breaking details on what was an encounter this morning that sparked a lot of confusion at a Chicago school. We've been trying to get some answers on this. Tonight, the Secret Service tells us it was their agents who visited Hamline Elementary School in the Back of the Yards as part of an investigation unrelated to immigration enforcement. But that incident sparked concerns about enforcement of the community. NBC5's V. Nguyen joining us live from the school with what we know so far, trying to get some answers, but also some reaction from parents there. V?
Yes, guys, we just confirmed within the last 30 minutes or so that Secret Service agents showed up at the school today. They were investigating a threat that was made. You know, this has caused a lot of fear and anxiety and worry for so many people in this community, initially thinking that this was related to immigration enforcement. So this is what we know so far. According to Chicago Public Schools, several people showed up at the school around 11:15 this afternoon, presented credentials, and identified themselves as ICE agents. CPS leaders say security and staff immediately followed protocols and did not allow these agents inside while they assessed the situation. The Department of Homeland Security now telling us it was not ICE, it was not an ICE encounter, and now within the last 30 minutes or so, we can confirm that agents with the Secret Service was conducting an investigation. A federal spokesperson telling us they were investigating a threat made to one of their protectees. This was in reference to the recent TikTok ban. That investigation led them to a home next to the school, then over to the school. As part of their investigation, we heard from the president of the Chicago Principals and Administrators Association about the steps taken earlier to ensure the safety of students.
It seems like to me that the principal here handled it well. She kept them from coming into the school. She called her boss, the network chief. The network showed up. Safety and security showed up. We walked in. All the CPS was there supporting the principal, supporting the students, supporting the parents. And it looked like this is an example of all of us, the unions, management, teachers union, principals union, management, everybody working together to make sure the kids here were safe.
Again, CPS leaders say security and staff have been trained. They've been preparing for this and say they'll continue to follow guidance. So unless a court order or a federal warrant is presented, ICE agents will not be permitted related to any immigration enforcement. But as you can imagine, this is causing a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety for neighbors and parents who have kids attending the school.
Yeah, because not only my granddaughter, is more kids in there, they're not got no papers. You know, it's not fair. They're little kids.
I feel bad for all those children.
They should leave the school alone. That's sanctuary right there. So that's, you know, they should leave the kids in school. They shouldn't come and play with them.
Rapid response teams made up of volunteers from different organizations also responded today. As school was letting out, they provided families with Know Your Rights information just in case. So back out here live again, a lot of moving parts and a lot of things developing. So initially, officials here at the school thought that they were confronted by ICE agents at the school related to an immigration enforcement. The Department of Homeland Security telling us it was not an ICE encounter. The Secret Service now telling us that they were conducting an investigation, a threat made to one of their protectees involving the recent TikTok ban. So again, a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety for folks here, but that is the most latest updated information that we have. It was Secret Service agents conducting an investigation involving that threat. That is the very latest. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks so much, V. Good to know that element of the story. Now I'm sure there's a lot of questions as to how that all played out. Thank you so much. We appreciate the update.